Welcome to a special episode of D Freaks and Geeks, the unedited and unfiltered gaming podcast that's more fun than making a movie, losing it, making a movie, scrapping it, and making another movie. That'll all make sense in a second. I am your host, David, aka D Freak.
I'm Pat, aka Bloodbath. Whoa, Bloodbath 17.
And I'm Matt, aka Spiteful Toast.
Yo, that just reminded me. I loved the one episode where Matt said, "And I'm Spiteful Toast, aka Matt." That gets me every time. So for this special episode, we have Mr. Dominari. We've had him on previously. His fan film, The Kentarch 3, is releasing February 14th. It should be releasing today as this episode is coming out. The passion that this guy brings out of making a movie and the passion he has about the Destiny 2 world and the trials and tribulations that he has gone through is amazing. It's inspiring. And I think that everybody, if you're going to listen to this episode, give him a shout. Make sure you watch his movie because it's going to be great.
He's a real one.
This is him talking about the Kentarch 3 and other projects that he has. So enjoy. All right, everybody, let's get ready. We have a very special interview that we have today. We have Mr. Dominari. We've had him on before. If you haven't listened, go back and listen. But this week we have a very special episode for him. His fan film, the Kentarch. Oh my God, I'm screwing this up. How about this? I'll introduce him and I'll let him do it. Mr. Dominari, how you doing? It's been a while.
It has been a little second. But yes, the Kentarch 3 releases. Oh my God, it's here. After 3 years, it's here.
Yeah, so we talked about it a bunch on the last one, but let's kind of bring us through, since the last time we spoke, what has been going on. Let's talk about. I saw the trailer. If everybody listening hasn't seen the trailer yet, you should go and see it because it looks amazing. So I know last time we talked, you were going through a little bit of you kind of restarted right before that to make it a little different. So how has the process been from the last time we talked till now?
I've gotten a lot better at visual storytelling. I'm gonna be releasing the Kentarch 3, and then I think a week or two after, I'm gonna release a director's commentary on it as well, which is just the movie, but with me talking about it, because I ended up going over and redoing basically all of the scenes, and I cut 2 scenes too, so it's a little bit shorter. And I don't know, I got so much better at lighting, coloring, camera work. It looks so much better now. It's a pretty film, if nothing else. Even if the story is bad, if the dialogue's corny, it's a pretty film.
So the first trailer that I saw to the trailer that you just released visually has been. I mean, I saw it and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! You made
it looks like a different thing.
So much work.
It looks so different." And I did my best because it is a short film. It's a short film. It's like a 30-minute long thing. So I did my best. So everything in the most recent trailer that you saw is within the first 5 minutes.
Okay.
Anything that after that I haven't shown yet, and I'm super happy about that. I don't want to spoil anything that goes on because halfway through a lot happens, and so it's been a ride though. I'm super happy where it's sitting now, and the team's super happy. They're super excited.
Did you have like a pre-release viewing for everybody that was part of the movie itself?
No, I did not. I did not. I thought about it. I thought about it because I had the film done February 7th, which is still cutting it close. I had it done by February 7th.
That's like 5 days ago.
Yeah. I had the film done February 7th, and I thought about doing a previewing, but I was like, you know what? No, I'll let everyone see it whenever it premieres. I'll upload a premiere on the 14th, like early in the morning, so it just sits there ready for live streaming, and then I have a special private viewing going on at my movie theater, actually, because I work at a movie theater.
Oh my God! I thought you owned a movie theater.
No, I don't own a movie theater, but I am one of the managers there. So I'm gonna have a little private viewing with me, my friends, and some of my family, so we can see it there.
That's awesome. That might just see it on the big screen.
Yes, I'm super excited for that.
So where is it releasing for everybody? Where am I going to be able to watch it on Valentine's Day?
On Valentine's Day, you can watch it everywhere on my channel, on Mr. Dominari's YouTube channel. It's going to be dropping on Valentine's. I don't know the exact time yet. I'm thinking somewhere like 1 p.m., but I might change that to 7 p.m. because I love number 7.
Yeah, the timing's always a weird thing, man, because it's like people are working at 1 o'clock, and it's like, but you just want to get it out. So
yeah,
we are stood. I can't wait. I remember the first time that we had you on, I was like, this is going to be fucking awesome because, I mean, the work that you put in for a movie is, I couldn't even imagine, first of all.
Thank you.
And then second of all, the storytelling and all of like the lore that you've went through and, you know, to make it as on point to the lore as possible while it's putting your spin on it.
It was difficult, but we tried our best, and it was so fun. Oh my god, I cannot wait to start work on the next thing. I've been telling everyone since I finished the film that I can't wait to not talk about the Kentarch thing. Because that's all it's that I've been.
Yeah, it's like really fun and exciting, but it's over. It's like, oh
yes, it's fun and exciting, and I can't wait to get it out, and I can't wait to talk about it for the next month or two. But I can't wait to work on the next thing.
Yeah, and you're still gonna do the TV show? That's your next.
Yep, the next show is a series called The Dark Age. In April, I'm gonna have a short little concept teaser go out, and it'll tell everyone that it's probably something you won't see till like late 2024, early 25. So don't expect to see me again.
Give yourself a much bigger time range this time. But
yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Destiny 2, right? Because this is a Destiny movie. So I'm going to kind of derail this just for 1 second because I need your thoughts as the Destiny 2 guy. What are your thoughts on what's going on with Destiny? And is it really shitty that everything that's been happening is happening the time that you're releasing your movie?
No, I think it's perfect. I can't stress. I can't stress. Whether it be good press or bad press, press is press. And so people are talking about Destiny 2, and that's trending on Twitter. So whenever they see the Destiny 2 hashtags, hopefully my Kentarch 3 things shows up there. I'm so happy that I am because, I mean, honestly, Destiny 2 population hasn't been this high in a second. And we're 2.5 weeks out from Lightfall. We are 2.5 weeks out from Lightfall, so this is a perfect time to drop the film. I don't want to drop it on Lightfall because, of course, that would be overshadowed. But
talk about cannibalizing yourself. Destiny 2 fans are going to be going crazy at that time.
Joke. I like the point that I'm putting it at. And I like where Destiny 2 is at right now. I do. I feel a little gutted that the next Titan Super is another punch roaming super, but I'll be okay.
So you didn't have any issues with your account being wiped?
Oh my god, I heard about that. No, I had no issues, thankfully. I did hear a ton about that, which is wild.
Wiping everything?
No. They're not wiping everything. It just got wiped.
Some people's accounts, they would get kicked or they would log in and their character would just be gone. And it became like such a big thing when the 2 people that it happened to at first, it became such a giant thing that people started reporting that their characters were lost too, even though there were no characters that were lost. People just started frauding the support system. In reality, it was only like a couple dozen people who lost their characters. And not only that, they rolled it back. So everything was returned to them. So everything's fine now. They just like to make it a big deal.
Yeah. Well, of course, the people who complain are the loudest voices.
Yeah,
so
right.
Why is the population of Destiny so high right now? Is there a reason? I think I've been kind of out of the Destiny. I've been running around going crazy. I've been out of the Destiny game. Is it just in preparation for Lightfall? Everybody's getting their power level up, so you.
It is a lot of pre-hype for Lightfall, and on top of that, the season of the Seraph, the season that we're in right now, is probably the best season they've had all year. There's tons of stuff to do. There's a new dungeon, which is just some crazy armor. There's this new exotic mission for Revision 0, which is a craftable exotic pulse rifle. And there's an actual, like, really good, engaging story going on with Rasputin. And the final mission should release it should release next week. And there's supposed to be some big event going on to, like, kick off Lightfall. But, yeah, people are excited. There's not a lot to complain about, but you will find them.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
of course.
That's what's... Destiny is like, it's just, you're such a big, I mean, right now on Steam, I think it's the number 4 downloaded game again. So
Yeah.
Destiny 2 kind of like goes up and down and up and down and up and down. But
Yeah.
I really want to get back
bro.
to, yeah,
It's
I
like
really want to,
like year 5 in Destiny, and I mean they've gotten some type of formula down. It's working
for sure.
It almost seems like people get excited for the game when they have the DLCs coming out, and then they get through the DLC, and then they're like, all right, I'm gonna take a break and wait for the next DLC.
And that's a big problem, yeah. And they've always struggled with that problem. I think the only time they didn't was like Forsaken, and that's because they focused so hard on the Dreaming City as endgame. But they had that problem with Witch Queen. Witch Queen was an amazing expansion. It was great, but after those first 3 weeks, you didn't have anything to do.
Yeah, I loved the Witch Queen. But I do want to get back to the movie, right? I want to, for people who didn't see your first episode, let's give them a little preview and a little like, let's hype this up a lot, because again, we're super excited. So let's kind of walk through again the process of what you did. I know we talked about it in the previous episode, but we really want to get people to understand what they're getting into. And if you're a Destiny 2 fan, why should I be really excited to watch the film?
So the Kentarch 3 is a story that is already in Destiny. It's in the Destiny 2 armor that drops from the Garden of Salvation raid. And that dropped 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's a very disconnected and vague story on purpose. That's exactly how they wanted it to be written. But I wanted to connect some of the dots and leave it still a little vague and create my own little spin on it. So I wanted to tell that story of the Kentarch 3. It's not a complicated story. It's nothing that you need to dive into page number 18,000 of the Book of Sorrow to figure out what's going on. But it is a Destiny fan film, and I recommend you have at least a tiny bit of knowledge. But I tried to make it
at least know what a Guardian is.
Yes, know what a Guardian is, and know what a Ghost is, because those two are very important. And I've spent the last 3 years working on it. I've restarted twice because one wiped my drive, and then I restarted on my own not too long ago, and it's fun. It's just been a fun little ride. It's fully voiced. It's the Kentarch 3, and there's 3 main characters, but we have about 9 voices in it, including mine. But I won't be revealing who I am to it.
Oh, you pulled the Quentin Tarantino?
Yeah, I'm credited in the credits as a voice talent, but I'm not going to tell who I am.
Yeah. Now, working with all of these people and building that bond has to. I mean, you started with strangers essentially.
Oh, absolutely! They're complete strangers. they were. Yeah. Well, at least they were. It's some of the most fun I've ever had, which is why I'm super excited about the series going forward, because I have about 9 voices for the Kentarch 3, and there's about 25, 30 I need for the series.
Yeah.
But the Kentarch 3 is like my favorite thing. And I've told everyone this. My favorite thing was the people. And just meeting these people from around the world. We have people in Brazil, Wyoming, the Middle East. It really is from everywhere. And these guys are passionate, whether it be passionate about Destiny 2 or acting or getting their name out there. They're passionate. And I told them ahead of time, that's what this is. It's a passion project. There's no profit coming from this. It's not going to be monetized. No one's getting paid for any of this. This is just something that are pure love, you know? And I was super upfront about that. And they were like, yeah, okay, sure. But I thought me being upfront about that, they were going to really, like, they didn't want their hands on it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like, so what are you talking about? No.
I was expecting a paycheck, motherfucker.
But they were so welcoming. I was like, this is mostly for exposure. It's a fan project, so it's gonna be what it is. And it's my first big animation project, so I'm trying to keep expectations still simmered down. But I have spent the last 3 years learning animation. But it's been so crazy fun. Like, some of these people I still talk to almost every day, and not even just about the film anymore. I know I talked to Lily Hawkwood, who plays the main character, Lisbon 13. And she is playing a great role in this. I don't know. That was one of our instants. Yes, we need her. And she does a great job. And she contacts me every now and then. She makes fun of me for not releasing the film quicker.
Now, are any of these voice actors, have they been voice actors before? Or or were you dealing with essentially not only strangers but newbies to the voice acting? Because, like, again, and we'll touch upon this in a second, but your animation and your camera work and everything has progressed so much from the beginning of it to the end of it. So I'm assuming that the voice actors have also gotten better and better and better as it's gone through, just, getting more comfortable with it and understanding their role more and being able to kind of develop their character more.
Yeah. Whenever the voice actors were hired, most of them are new, because some of them are just Destiny fans.
Yeah.
Most of them are just new to the voice acting yet, but some have done other things, like what's his name? Zachary Braver. Zachary Braver plays one of the ghosts in the Kentarch 3. He's also done a lot of other narration stuff, and he's done some other Destiny 2 narration stuff for other people in their YouTube channel. So he's big on that. The guy that plays Yardarm for Brandon Bond, he has a great voice, and he knows it. And so he's not new. He's done voice work a little bit in the past, only a little bit. But he does say that the Kentarch 3 kind of shot him off, and he realized he really wants to do this. So now he's been in other Destiny animations. He's been in Star Wars animations. Now he's really cool. Pursuing it. Yeah, he's pursuing it very well. Rakana are the main characters. She's played by Anna McClough. I talk to Anna all the time. Anna McClough is an absolute joy to work with, and she was one of our later voice actresses to get onto the project, because Rakana's voice actor changed about 3 times throughout the years. And it
was mostly don't complicate it any more than that, right?
Yeah, don't complicate it any more than that. It's mostly because of scheduling. There was also conflicting creative differences, but we're gonna leave it there, okay? Yeah. Either way, we landed on Anna, and I love Anna's voice so much. She brings it out, and she's a theater kid. She does theater all the time where she's at, and she wants to be an actress. And honestly, besides me, no one has been more hyped for this film than her. She's been showing her friends. She wants a poster ordered, because I got a poster now for it that I'm hanging up, and it's really nice.
How do we get a poster? I'm in.
Yes. Yeah.
It is a really nice poster. I love it. But no, most of them are pretty new. But then again, I have people from all the likes. But on the subject of have their voices improved, I guess the only one that really redid work was Lisbon and Rakana. But everyone else, I got their voices super early in. So most of the voices you're going to hear on the film are 3 years old.
Oh, wow. Okay. So what took it was the reanimation that was the...
Oh, yeah, no. They did their lines point. Like that. Yeah. They were excited.
So they must be thrilled. They must be like, it's time. Yeah.
They're like, fucking finally. Like, it's about damn time. Because it was post-release in May in 2021, and then October in 22, and now it's finally here in 23 on Valentine's.
So going through this whole process, do you feel more or less confident moving forward? Let's hope you say more. But like, going into the TV show and all of the trials and tribulations that you did have, which again, when you create art like this, you're always going to have trials and tribulations, be it technical, be it personal, right? You kind of had both, where you have to find your groove in what you're trying to do and what you want to be displayed to the masses. Do you feel comfortable now going into your TV show being like, okay, now I know this is what I want the end product to look like, and this is how we're going to get there? Or do you still anticipate more growth with the TV show?
I feel like I anticipate a lot more growth. I'm still super confident in my ability, especially now. Oh my god, especially working on those last few scenes. I'm confident I can do the series. I'm also confident it's going to be harder, but I'm totally fine with that. I'd rather challenge myself than sink back into an old easy way. But I think it's going to be harder. The series is going to be like 10 episodes long, and each one of them I'm trying to make 30, 40 minutes. So imagine the Kentarch 3, just make 10 of them.
Right.
So
no big deal.
No big deal. Another big thing. And
Kentarch 3 only, sorry, I was going to say Kentarch 3 only took you, 3 years. 10 of them, it's only going to take you, that pace. Hopefully, it doesn't take
I'm,
you
I'm
all.
hoping it only takes me like 2 years to do the series because I'm doubling down on my workload with it, and I know what type of, I guess, the cycle, like the pattern I have to go through for scenes now. And I finally have a good feeling that I want for them, which I'll admit, whenever I started Kentucky 3, I didn't know what I wanted it to be. I was just like, I'm just going to tell a story and animate some scenes. But now I know that there's an actual feeling between each scene. There's reflection between the first one and the last one. I know there's something in there that at least I can identify with. I know the feeling I want coming from that film. And now I know the feeling I want coming from the series. And it's going to be very, very different than the Kentarch 3. It's going to be dark. It's gritty. It's way more mature. Don't get attached to characters. People are dying. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to be a tragedy. It is going to be a really, I guess, a lot more stakes than the Kentarch 3, but happening in that same little fan film type of area.
Yeah, I can only imagine because, like, I always think, listen, this is gonna sound super weird, I guess, but like, I've always thought like writing a book or something is something that would be awesome to do and like create your own story, but I can only imagine getting halfway through it and going, "Oh, well, now I really know where the story wants to end." But that means that I have to go back to the beginning and re-engineer everything.
That's absolutely part of it. The Kentarch 3. No, yeah, the Kentarch 3. The Kentarch 3. I think I might have mentioned this on the first one. The Kentarch 3, at first was going to end up with everyone becoming raid bosses by the end of it. Yeah, because that was a theory floating around, was that the Kentarch 3 ended up as raid bosses in the Garden of Salvation raid, which I was entertaining for like a month, and then I rewrote it. But the Dark Age, I started writing that, I think, a year into the Kentarch 3. Because by then, a year after we started the project, the writing was done and we had the voices. I just needed to animate. And so between animation and whenever I had the time, I was writing for the Dark Age. And so I've had the last 2.5 years to write the Dark Age. And oh my god, it blows my writing in the Kentarch 3 out of the water. Like, I'm proud. I'm so proud of my Kentarch 3, but oh my god, it is hot trash compared to the series.
Really? You just think going through the whole process once before that alone was just enough to push that forward, or do you think just the fact that you already wrote a movie is enough to say?
I don't know. I guess like the Kentarch 3 was like, it was like, I mean, I mentioned like it's a vague story, so we had our little sections that we could put in our creative liberties, I guess. And with the Dark Age, the only thing that we're really following in lore is like, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the only things we're really following in lore is like this middle of it that happens, this middle thing that happens, and then the ending, and that's it. Okay. The other 8 episodes is completely from our brains, and I'm super happy about that. That's why I'm so proud of it, because it's all just original story. It's following this one person who has a set arc in the Destiny universe, but everyone around them is reacting to it, and they have their arcs and they have their own little thing, and they can. And the Dark Age actually does have a small connection to our Kentarch 3 short film.
Oh, that's that. Look at you, perfect.
Yeah, I want to make it a little bit of a connection, and maybe I'll come back on the show like later and tell you that connection. But I want people to figure it out themselves by the time it comes out.
Absolutely. And then, so I guess what we didn't ask you the first time, and now that I'm kind of wondering, is when you create a Destiny 2 fan film or a TV show, do you have to reach out to Bungie and get some sort of approval, or since? Yeah, how does that work? Or is it like, because I don't know how creative liberty works in like a fan film.
So the way Bungie's terms of service go, and they've always been like this, and there was like a whole lawsuit that happened so many months ago, but that wasn't Bungie. That was some random person that was super upset because Bungie took down their stuff. But yeah, Bungie's terms of service, I'm pretty sure, I might be misquoting this. I could look it up some later time, but the way it states is that you can use their stuff, you can use their assets, you can use their music, you can use all that stuff, so long as I think it has to be 60% or more of it has to be something that you contributed.
Okay.
Or is it? It might be 60% or like 40%. So like that's why you can see
interesting,
like Destiny 2 OSTs sitting on YouTube and not being taken down, because people are adding, their own little background to it, or they're adding, the little base animations to it, and technically that counts under Bungie's terms and service, so it's not going down. That's why you see other Destiny animations go out. It's not going down because they've added enough of their own stuff to it.
So you're telling me you read the entire terms of service for Destiny 2?
To get ready for this? Hell yeah! Before I even took up the animation work, I had to read at least that.
That sounds way worse than everything else you've talked about before.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Because how many pages is that? About 400?
I didn't read the whole thing. I read I read the parts that were important to what I was going for, and it just can't be like commercialized, in which it isn't. It's not being monetized. It's not being commercialized.
Yeah.
It can't be commercialized, and you need to be adding a good amount of your own content to it, which we are. A lot of it is a creative liberty.
Which again means your TV show, you even have more liberty because
oh yeah, absolutely.
You're essentially you're just kind of diving deep into that.
The closest thing that's like even that is commercial, which I hardly have ever talked about yet, but I'll talk about it more whenever the film release. Like I'll put it on social medias and stuff. Is on February 14th, the soundtrack for the Kentarch 3 also releases on Spotify. Because that's not something Bungie made. That is someone I got to make the soundtrack. I got someone to make the soundtrack of the film, and it'll be on Spotify.
But you got is it a composer?
Yes, it's a composer.
Whoa, that's fucking
dropping that.
Yeah,
that must have been really fun to work on.
Oh, it was really fun. I love the dude. I didn't have the film fully finished whenever he was making it, so I let him take his own creative liberty too with the soundtrack. But he did a really nice job. And he's not on Spotify, so it's going to release under my name, but I have his name credited under it.
So how did that work? Did you try to, and I'm assuming you did, but did you try to get the same aura of Destiny 2, right? Like the music wise, there's an aura of the Destiny 2 music.
Yeah. There's a certain feeling to it.
So you stuck with that, but allowed him to kind of go with it.
Mm-hmm. There are in the Kentarch 3, there are a few tracks that are from Bungie's soundtracks, which are credited in the credits, and but they won't be on the soundtrack that releases.
Good.
And all of those soundtracks I did end up using that were from Bungie, I sent to him and I said, match this feeling. And it did. Okay. And so that's how that ended up working. And it's not a lot. It's like total like 15 minutes worth of songs, but it's a 30-minute film. So what do you do?
Right.
Did he see the scenes? Like, did you have to send him the scenes first to make the music? Or were you like, did you verbally or written word describe what the scene was like and he had to make music from there?
I'm a big fan of getting people to, I guess, think for themselves and do what they like, I guess, or what they're thinking of in the moment. So what I did with him and what I do with a lot of other stuff is I told him the basics of a story. I didn't tell him it was a Destiny 2 fan film. I didn't tell him it was the Kentarch 3. I didn't tell him it was a sci-fi fantasy thing. I said what this film is I told him, at least for the first track, I told him what this film is these three best friends. They walk into a garden. They come out as enemies, and that's it. And I told him that. And then I sent him the tracks I wanted him to evoke the feeling of, and he wrote out 5 minutes, and then I told him the rest of what the film was, and he stuck with it.
Whoa!
Damn! Your method is fucking blowing my mind right now. Holy shit!
My brain is like trying to process all of these thoughts. That's crazy.
Thank you.
I would originally think, just like not knowing anything, I would think that you have even your basic animation, even your first round of animation, and then you would send it to him, and then he would do it and kind of build the atmosphere with music through that. No,
I didn't send him a single scene until we were about a third of the way through. And even that, I only sent him stuff from the first 10 minutes of the film. Because I wasn't done.
Artistic people are amazing. Everything that you say blows my mind. Everything that
Let's not go that far.
No, dude, because like I couldn't even imagine. It's actually difficult to process in my brain how that even gets done. Because now it's really funny. Because now when I'm watching the movie, I'm going to really focus on the music and be like, this dude had no idea what any of these scenes were gonna do.
He doesn't know what the Destiny universe is. He never heard of the video game. Whenever I did end up telling him, he never heard of it. But it was super fun getting his, I guess, reaction to it.
Because he hasn't seen it yet either, right? Because you haven't shown it to anybody. So he has no idea how it's going to fit into the movie until Tuesday.
Yeah, no, he has no idea. Whenever I did tell him like that little bit about it, and then we got a third of the way through, I told him a little bit more, and I sent him this one little scene that was just Lisbon and Rakana talking on a cliff. And I took out everything that had the word Destiny, or a word that was associated with Destiny's vocabulary in it. So it was just two people talking on a cliff. I really liked it because, like I said, he did what he felt was necessary for the story, not necessary for what it was, you know?
Right. Holy shit.
You just listen to the track and then take which parts you feel fit best in the scene.
Yep. I told him I wanted it to feel like, because it's a short film, so I didn't want it to feel like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I wanted it to feel like just it was a singular act. That's all it is. It's one singular act of a story that we don't see the beginnings of. And so I told him, whenever you do write it, I didn't tell him to write it into like, or to write the songs and to split it up and, you know, this is track 1, this is track 2, this is track 3. I told him to make a 15-minute long track. And so it could feel like, you know, the short film just flows into one act. And that's what we did. We split it up whenever I listened to it, and we split up, you know, what we liked from it, what we didn't like. We changed a few things, and we put it into scenes.
How many times did he have to redo it?
None. He did. All he really did was cut out. I think this last little bit. Yeah, I think he cut out like 2 minutes that I didn't like.
So essentially, it's
not that I didn't like it. It just didn't fit. Yeah, it's just one giant score, split up whenever it shuts down or changes to a different tune.
And what instruments are they? Is it like orchestra? Is it?
Yeah, it's orchestral instruments. I did want to capture that feeling of Destiny. It's orchestral instruments, but the tracks that I sent him specifically was Eden, which is a track for the Black Garden from Destiny 2, and all it is just a bunch of strings, and I loved it. It was very nice.
I love strings. I think strings sound so beautiful.
Yeah. It was a bunch of strings, and they had some like high vocals and stuff like that, and he sprinkled that in where he could. And then I sent him a track from the Music of the Spears called The Tribulation. And The Tribulation is one of my favorite tracks that's ever been made in any video game ever. The Tribulation is great. They hardly use it in Destiny 2, hardly. But when they do, it's great.
So how are you going to release it on Spotify? Are you going to release just one 15-minute song?
Nope, I split them up into...
You split them up into the scenes? Yeah.
I split them up into, I think, 5 tracks. So there's 5 songs on there. And they all sound relatively... they don't sound the same, but they sound like they build off of one another.
It's an orchestral soundtrack kind of does that, where they kind of flow into each other, but
yeah, exactly.
Maybe like an octave here, octave there.
That's
I have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, but I'm trying.
That is what it is. It was one full track that we just separated into 5.
Now, how much crazier has this gotten from now until from the day that you woke up and was like, I'm going to write a movie?
Oh, it's gotten crazy, dude. Oh my God. My life has completely changed. It really has.
I was going to say, how did you have time to do all of this? Like, you know, if it's not, it's not monetized, right? So it's not like you still have to supplement income somehow. So it's not like you're not working. It's not like you don't have life to go on. And
I'm in college.
And you're in college, and like the more and more you talk about it, it's like, okay, well, we had 3 voice actors for this, and then now we have this guy who did all of these soundtracks, and then we had to do this, and then we had to animate again, and it's like, I'm assuming the first time you woke up, you were like, I'm going to make a fan film and it's going to be like a lot of fun and we're just going to kind of go through it. And then it's just progressed into this beast.
Yeah, 9 voice actors, a soundtrack, 3 years, and $10,000 later, here we are.
Damn, dude. And then you're just like, fuck it, let's do it again. But like,
let's
10
fucking
times.
do it again. It was fun. There was a lot of times where I'm like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah.
And then I mean, like, I'm serious. I felt like a lot of the time, especially like when I'm just sitting at my computer doing animation, because I worked like the night shifts at my movie theater, and I go to school, so most of my animation work is being done from like 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. And so I'll be there at like 4 a.m. looking at my animation suite screen, and I'm like, this isn't worth it, bro. This isn't it. And I looked at my other monitor and I read some of the script, and I'm like, nope, it is. I'm gonna go back to work.
So you're running on like 3 hours of sleep, like every day.
This last week I haven't slept. The last 7 days I haven't gotten any sleep.
Whoa, dude. Okay, so now like, and it's like, now that you've gone through this process, how does it feel to go through all of this and know that you're not going to get paid? Like, I know that I understand, like, I know people that are always like, oh, it's a passion project, and we all have passions in life, and, it's fun to work on it because we really enjoy it, but the amount of money and work you put in, and to get essentially nothing out of it, money-wise, monetarily-wise, does that suck, or are you still on this is just going to be fucking awesome that it's coming out, and I'm excited for people to watch it?
Honestly, I haven't thought 1 second about the money. I haven't thought 1 second about it.
Good for you, man.
It really has just been a little fan project. With the series, I'm paying everyone. I'm still not going to monetize it. I probably won't get anything from it. With the series, I'm probably going to pay everyone to do their work, though, for it. Because I do want it to be a lot higher quality. Not to say the Kentarch 3 isn't a quality I'm proud of, though. But
well, you want to take it to the next level, right? You want to go from a fan fiction to like a series, and then I'm assuming you already have plans after your series for something else.
I do. Right now, there's a bunch I can't spoil, because whenever I was writing The Dark Age, I have been writing The Dark Age and then 2 other films, and they are taking place in this my little bubble fan film universe. So by the end of the Kentarch 3, you may see more of the Kentarch 3 and future stuff with the same voice actors, the same people. Same thing with the Dark Age. You might see some of those same guys reprise their roles in different fan films. But that stuff is literally like 6-7 years out. So I'm not talking about any of that. There's big spoilers about the universe. It connects, especially the second film. It connects Kentarch 3, The Dark Age, and that first film all together in a very nice way. I'm really happy with how it's going right now.
Will you ever get away from Destiny 2 and create your own original whatever?
Yes, I will. I've already started with a different script with one of my friends. Actually, I'm not going to name her name right now because she doesn't want any credit yet. But we've been working on a script for an actual like live action shot film that we're gonna travel to Florida to do sometime next year. But we'll figure that out when we figure that out. But
now, how does it feel that you're starting to like really? I mean, it's like really inspirational to hear, because there's a lot of things that I want to do. Well, because there's a lot of things I want to do with my life that I just fucking sit on the couch and go, wouldn't it be great if I did this for a living, right? But you're getting up off of your ass. You're not getting fucking paid for it. You're doing all of this work, but it's like you're taking those steps to do what you love in life, and it must just feel, as much as you don't get sleep and as much as you don't get any of this, it's the process, right? I mean, this is going to be the process of turning it into more.
Yeah, in that, I would say it comes with the, I guess, with the territory of doing something like this. So I had to accept early on that this is just how it's going to be. I've always been, especially before the film, I've always been the type of person, I guess I can't sleep in. So I wake up earlier. I don't go to sleep at all because I feel like I'm wasting my time. Everyone asks me, like if you have a superpower or if the genie could grant you one wish, I'd be like, I wish I couldn't sleep. You know how much stuff I could get done if I couldn't sleep?
Dude, I fucking love sleeping. Oh my god, me and you are the opposites there. Sleeping is like,
oh my
dude,
god,
it's up there.
I just feel unproductive not doing anything, and there's things that my parents want me to do, and there's things some other people want me to do, and that's not me, And so when the Kentarch thing came about and this idea came about, I was like, I want to do this, and I'm willing to put in the work. I'm willing to show you the guys that no, it's not that I don't have the energy to do those things you don't want me to do. It's just that I want to put my energy into something I want to do.
It takes a lot to do that, man. It takes a lot. I mean, everybody has outside influences that like. I would love to quit my job and do something else, but there's a lot of outside influences, and to kind of push through that is
got bills.
Yeah, and you just got. Unlike you, I need to sleep, right? So it's like I got things that I got to do. So, but I mean, how do you even keep track of everything that like? Do you keep a calendar or like a notebook or like how do you manage all of this?
I have this giant Google Doc called the Kentarch 3 Overview, and it is like, I think 70 or 80 pages long. And it's just all this stuff I've organized about the process, the script is in there, the voice actors, their contacts, the past voice actors' contacts in case I need them again for some reason, all these other stuff. And I didn't even put up a calendar. I used to have a physical calendar that I put up in my room. But I didn't even start writing stuff down for the Kentarch 3 until like a couple months ago.
But that's one out of 4 projects that you're working on.
Yes.
So now, are you just you just sticking with a Google Doc?
Yes, I am just sticking with a Google Doc. It has gotten me through it.
Listen, if it works, it works. I just was wondering because that's a lot of juggling. I mean, you on a daily basis, you need to be juggling everything because everything's got to stay fresh in your mind, and there's a lot that you have going on.
Yeah, it's gotten the Kentarch 3 document has gotten so I guess easy for me to read, and I've organized it enough over the last 3 years that it's kind of like a template for anything else I do now. So I have an almost identical document for the doc page, and then same thing for the one that comes after it. It's just shorter in length because I don't have everything figured out for it.
Man,
it's a lot, but oh my god, it's so fun. It is so fun, especially like I can't stress how fun writing is. And I guess some people don't like it, but I love it. I love writing, and so being able to pull out this story, especially for stuff in the future that's more creative. But even with the Kentarch 3, you sit on an idea and you can't get past it, or you can't get through a scene because something just doesn't click. Oh, this doesn't work well. This is a really boring conclusion to this thing I want, and then you're driving down the road at night, literally driving down the road at night, and then it just pops in your head. And
oh shit, we gotta get home.
No, because I have Google Docs on my phone too, so I just pulled over and I started writing, and I went back home. But it was it's such a good process. Over. I think I did. I pulled over. But it's such a sweet little experience. And I can't wait. And people have been so supportive. My favorite part about it is the people again, and even the people that didn't work on it. They are so supportive. My family is super supportive of it. My friends, they couldn't be more excited, and almost everyone I know wants to work on the next thing. And I have tons of characters to give out, so I'm like,
listen, I am not backing down. I've been practicing how to voice act because I was literally thinking about it the other day, and I was like, the hardest thing about voice acting has to be you're not really talking in your normal voice, right? Because you kind of have to build the character.
Yeah, you gotta be a different person.
And then you have to remember that character, and every time you act on that voice, you have to like display that character, and you can't fuck it up. I can't be going from like a low voice and then all of a sudden just like forget to do it one time.
I think voice acting is hard. I don't see myself voicing any of the characters very soon. I think voice acting is hard though, because like you said, you have to correct your character, but you have to sustain that character, and then you have to imagine yourself in an environment talking to people who just don't exist.
It's a lot more than just going into a microphone and being like, I'm a ghost and this is my lines, really right? Is.
They need context and I gave everyone as much context as I could. I wanted to keep a bunch of spoilers, especially with the Dark Age. I'm going to be splitting scripts up because there's a bunch of big reveals in that show that I want to keep to myself. But
so you're giving them just their piece instead of all the pieces because you want them to be surprised just as much as everybody else is surprised?
Yeah, the ghosts don't know what happened on the last half of the film because they don't have a lot of lines for that last half. But same thing with these characters. It's not really a big spoiler. The Vanguard is in the film. Cade 6, Ikora, Zavala, they're in the film. But they have no idea what the rest of the Kentarch 3 is about. They don't know what the rest of the film looks like. I just gave them the one little snippet.
Wow. I really like that you did it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would have
never thought to do
that at all.
Yeah, I
would have thought there were like multiple production meetings where you're like explaining the scene and like kind of dictating it in a way, but you really let the artists kind of shine through in their own way.
I wanted them to do that, and especially with people like the ones that were playing Cade 6 and Zavala. I mean, Cade 6 and Zavala have very, very unique voices in the game. Very unique voices. So I told them, ahead of time, I was like, we picked you because you sound like them. And I said, but now you need to sound like yourself. And I told them, you're going to be Cade 6, so act like Cade 6. Don't worry about mimicking his voice, though. I said that same thing with Zavala. And yeah,
so I picked someone who just naturally sounds like them.
Yep.
Not like,
at least the closest out of our list. Yeah, we got that. And I split their scripts up, so all the context I gave them was, the Kentarch 3 went into the garden and they didn't come back. And so that's what you're doing. You're here at a meeting with Zavala and that's what you're reading out.
Damn. I can't wait to hear Zavala's voice because that actor, I've seen a show with him in it and he plays the chief of police and he is super fucking serious and like he scares me on the show.
Wait, is he the sergeant from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No. He's it's this detective show on Amazon Prime called Bosch.
Yeah. He's also in the John Wick movies.
Yes.
Is he really?
Yo, he's in some low key roles. He was in. Was it? Wait.
The Kentarch 3.
No. Forget what I was going to say.
Get Lance Reddick on the Kentarch 3. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think he's doing anything for free.
No, he is a well-paid
I wouldn't expect
actor.
him to. He's way too talented.
Yeah. Listen, all I gotta say is, one, we're really excited for the movie.
Thank you.
Honestly, and I'm telling you from the heart, I haven't been this excited for a movie in a really long time because
I would agree
pressure.
With that.
Well, because it's also about learning everything. I think we can't express enough how grateful we are that you've been on the show and you come on again. I mean, learning all about this and really understanding how you did it. I think I don't really know if you did it right because I'm not in that industry, right? But it sounds like from everything you're saying, yeah, right. So it's all artistic and you have like your way of doing things. But I like that now everybody that's going to watch it is going to be just as shocked as I am when something happens. It's really going to be the first movie in probably my life where I am going to pick out certain details because of my understanding of it and be like, oh my God, this whole soundtrack was based off of one 15-minute thing where the guy had no fucking idea what he was even writing music to, and Zavala has no idea what's going on over here, and it's like it's almost like you made them play their roles with their understanding of what that character would know, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it, because that's what their character knew, and I've been very meticulous about it, and it was to my downfall a bunch because there was delays, but especially with this, how it's shot, camera work, especially visually, I'm really proud visually of how the film looks, especially with lighting,
dude. I can't believe, I honestly, and I know I brought it up before, I was like, wow, this looks fucking awesome, the first trailer. And then you just dropped that second one. I was like, I'm going to take a quick peek at it. And I was like, oh my, like it is. It looks so good.
It looks so much better than before. But there's little tiny things, and I tried to do a bunch of foreshadowing because there's only like one big event that happens in the film. So I did a bunch of foreshadowing for that. So the colors of their armor matches the lights that's in the background. So if you see like maybe like in one scene that it was in the trailer, it's Lisbon and Rakana. They're on the cliff. They're being lit with their colors, which is blue and teal, or more like a mint green kind of. And the way it works is, they are both sitting in the blue lighting at the beginning of the scene, and by the end of the scene, they're in the mint lighting because Rakana has taken over the conversation, and she just told Lisbon she's not budging where she's at anymore. And by the end of the scene, there's no blue lighting at all. You don't see it in the back or anything. It's gone, and because it's her.
How did you learn all of this? Is this all just based on like, because that, like, to me, I wouldn't have thought that, but the way that you're wording it makes a lot of sense, right? You're kind of, it's the overtone of the scene.
Yeah, because I mean, it's this short film, so there's only so much storytelling I could do. So I tried to push as much into everything in it as I could. Same thing with like just some of the actions. Like, one of the bigger events of the film. I mean, I've told you guys how it goes down. It's a tragedy. It's not a happy ending. People are dying, and it's foreshadowed in not only that, but also the movements that whenever I was wearing the motion capture suit. Some of them.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, some of them, especially halfway through the film, you'll see some of them on the ground, one standing up. It's a symbol of this person's the only one that has. These two fell to the dark. This is the only guy that didn't. He's still standing up. He's stumbling. He fell, but he's still standing. At one point in the film, the ghosts fall out of the air. Everyone just barely misses their ghost catching it, and the one guy that doesn't end up surviving, he catches his ghost. He's the guy that is willing to take action towards what he believes
in. God damn, dude. I am so much more excited now.
Well, thank you.
Listen, everybody that is listening, February 14th, Mr. Dominari, the Kentarch 3 is releasing. Everybody that is listening, you have to go see it. It will be on YouTube. And listen, we're super excited for it.
Thank you.
I'll promote the shit out of it because I think everything that you're doing is great. We really appreciate you being on again, man. Anytime you have anything in the future, you're more than welcome to come on. If you need a voice actor, I've been practicing. But we really appreciate you, and we really appreciate your passion for the film.
Thank you.
I think that everyone that we talk to is all about gaming, and we're a gaming podcast, and we hear the passion that people put into Twitch streaming and they put into their YouTube. And I don't want to take anything away from them because I think what they're doing is passion. But what you are doing with your thoughts and your ideas and your passion and how you're taking it, and really, I mean, I really can't even think of the words to say. You're really pushing your passion, and it's wonderful, and it's wonderful to see, and it's inspirational. As as weird as that sounds, it really, really is.
No,
because I've never been. I wish I was as passionate about something as you are with this franchise and the lore and what you're doing and how you're doing it for people. And even though you're not getting paid, you want to pay them next time, right? So you're doing all of the right things, and we really appreciate you. And I hope that the whole Destiny 2 community appreciates you, and I hope all of the success. I hope all of the success for your film. So if you want to give one last shout out for the movie, tell them when it's releasing, tell them who you are, where they can find you, and we hope for the best.
Yeah, sure. It's Mr. Dominari on everything. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. The Kentarch 3 releases Valentine's Day, and we did that on purpose, all right? It's a labor of love and nothing more. That's what it is. It releases on Valentine's Day. The soundtrack releases on Valentine's Day. The film will release sometime in the afternoon or evening, but the soundtrack releases at midnight on Valentine's Day if you want a preview of the film whenever the soundtrack comes out.
And this episode will be released on Valentine's Day. So if you're listening right now, we're going to end the show, and your job is to go to youtube.com and go watch the movie right now.
By this time, actually, go watch it. It's out. What are you doing?
Yeah. Stop listening to us. We're no more
content here.
Watch the podcast. And then go watch it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Mr. Dominari, we appreciate you as always, and we'll
Thank
be
you
in
for having
contact
me on.
soon.
It was so fun.
Yep.
Anytime.
And we'll talk later. Thanks. Looks like my fiance is going to be really pissed on Valentine's Day when I'm not going to dinner with her because I'm watching a movie.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. I know the director, dude, and the writer. Like, I was a genius, and I know him. Okay.
It was crazy the first time that we talked to him, and it was like he's doing all of this shit, and then we kind of like dove deep. Like what he was talking about the composer was like insane. I can't even. Yeah. And like how no one knows anything, and the first time they're gonna see it all is when they all see it together.
That was so impressive to me because you know the way he worded it to his voice actors, and the composer, his direction must have been vague as fuck, but specific enough to bring their own personalities into his movie. That's wild.
Yeah. So normally we end a podcast with some patty plugs, but this episode, I'm not even going to do that. All I'm going to tell you is to go on youtube.com, go to Mr. Dominari's site, his page, and watch the Kentarch 3 and support him as best as we can. Yes. And then from future episodes, we'll promote ourselves and we'll do everything for ourselves. But for this one, this one's really for him. So we appreciate him being on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
Later.